What's good, everybody? We're back. It's episode 3.
Really?
Man, once again, man. RIP Nip, man. I know it's, they had the funeral this week, so. But yeah, we're back, bro.
You gonna introduce our guest, Rambo? I mean,
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Buddy down Parliament. No. No. But no, yeah, you know, it's your boy Eric Rashad, and we got
Leo Solomon.
and we're gonna let our guest introduce himself.
Man, it's your boy Keep It Duff, you understand? Artist, musician, painter, chef, you know what I'm saying? Out here teaching, feeding people, you know what I'm saying?
Feeding people, huh?
So, you know, that's what I do.
Yeah. You can follow us at our social medias, Eric Rashad Music. What's yours?
Leo_Solomon.
And Keep It Duff.
Keep it Duff. How you spell it?
KEEPITDF.
All right, y'all, man. We getting into this, man, real quick, man. It's just been a lot going on, as y'all know. You know, they just had a funeral in which was on BET, which is I thought was great. You know what I'm saying? Gave that boy a good going celebration, and then man, we're just gonna get into some more stuff today. Like we're gonna talk about something like really serious, kind of not say touchy, but really a lot of people that just don't really kind of deal with, you know what I'm saying? You see people go away from it. But what we got first on the back of the day?
So I want to talk about these Louisiana church fires that a lot of people not talking about in the community, man, that we definitely need to be aware of. It's the story that came out of this kid, Holden Matthews, a white male, age 21. He's the son of a sheriff, of a deputy. And he's the captured suspect. He burned down 3 churches in Louisiana. Churches are St. Mary Baptist Church in Port Barre, Greater Union Baptist Church in Opelousas, and the third one, Mount Pleasant Baptist Church in the same town. Wow. And that's, like I said, he's the son of a deputy. Yeah. And it's just at this point where, you know, just us as a people, this is how I view it. Religion is not going to get us out of what we're going through.
Yeah. And then sad part, I'm assuming he was white.
Oh yeah, he was white, but yeah.
Okay. So.
And but what's upsetting about that, but not shocking, is that they don't want to label this as hate crimes.
How?
Because that's what I'm saying. Like how?
You know what? I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yeah.
And you know why they don't want to label it as hate crimes? Y'all know.
Yeah.
What is a church? What is it under? A 501c3.
Yeah, 501c3. Yeah.
So technically, the church is a business.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why they're like, oh, this is not a hate crime.
Right.
That's just my way of thinking.
Yeah. You gotta keep the cash. You know, gotta keep the people manipulated. You know what I'm saying? And that's all a part of it.
Yeah. The sad part is though, did people die though?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's the good thing about that. He started the fires, you know, late at night. Of course, nobody was there.
So it's not like a Dylan Roof situation.
Yeah, that's why they ain't labeled as a hate crime because nobody died.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, and that's the only loophole they're trying to use.
But these were black churches though.
Yeah, all black churches.
And how many you said is it so far?
3.
Yeah, 3.
Well, this guy actually is, I believe, it's 6. But this guy in particular, he did those 3 by himself.
So he's like a serial arsonist.
Yeah.
But he's only targeting black churches.
But it's not a hate crime.
Right.
What are you getting from? But what I'm trying to, what are you getting?
Let's not jump to conclusions. We got to gather all the evidence.
We're not dealing in hearsay.
Yeah, we got to wait for facts.
What are you getting out of burning the church up though?
Brother,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, that's like the. I don't know. I understand if you got a hate for people, but
well, from stemming from like the civil rights era, right? Like the black church is supposedly supposed to be like the beacon of hope in the community, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody knows, like, you know, where you're supposed to be able to go to church and get aid. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like, you know, assistance like with food or bills, or, you know, to be spiritually fed. So like you take away a community's hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say for instance like the serial arsonist in Houston, like he burned like Wheeler. You know what I'm saying? Or Kingdom Builders or Brentwood or Church Without Walls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like those three right there. That would demoralize like the black community. Like they would be in mourning. You know what I'm saying? Cause like
they're like pillars of the community.
Yeah, because they look to these buildings or these institutions for hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when we grew up, you know what I'm saying, going to Brentwood, like it was known as like the Black Country Club.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you know, the who's or whatever. So like you take away hope from a community. You know what I'm saying? Black people are already downtrodden. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I don't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
She said the biggest key word that I really feel like that's holding a lot of blacks back: hope. That's like, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? Well, I can't even apologize for that, but
we speaking straight truth.
Hope is the biggest cancerous mindset that has held the black community back. That's just my opinion. It has really, we allowed ourselves to be disenfranchised through hope. You know, especially with these black pastors. I was talking with my coworker about this earlier this week. I will never forget it when Trayvon Martin, you know, when he was murdered. We all will never forget that. But the verdict, I think it happened on a Friday or a Saturday. The not guilty verdict, it hit me so hard. It really hurt me to my core. You know what I'm saying? It even bothers me, you know, talking about him to this day. And, you know, that Friday or Saturday when it happened, I was looking forward to going to church because I was like, man, in a way, I'm glad this happened because, you know, us as African Americans will finally get to see and we'll finally get to understand that, you know, religion is not going to get us out of this. Yeah, right. So coming up to that Sunday, you know, when I got to church, I was just so amped for the sermon because I was really expecting, you know, the pastor, you know, at that time that I was under, I'm no longer there. I was really expecting him to just go in and just, you know, talk about it, you know, to talk, acknowledge, you know, racism, acknowledge white supremacy, you know, acknowledge strategies that we can go through together, that we could create. And after that Sunday, I was just disappointed. Actually, I didn't even stay.
Well, I mean, if you look at
my bad, because he didn't mention anything about Trayvon.
Well,
nothing.
If you look at the history of what the black church is, right, like going all the way back to slavery, right, the whole purpose of the black preacher was to pacify the masses. Yeah. Right? To stop civil unrest, you know what I'm saying, slave revolts. Yeah, right? Uprising, yeah. So, you know, when you look at like your Nat Turner, like Nat Turner, you know, but Nat Turner, he started reading what the actual scriptures said for itself. Exactly. Right? You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of these pastors, like they're indoctrinated. So like, you know, first and foremost, you know, like the people in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, like they were black. You understand? Like this is a book about black people. You know what I'm saying? And you know, from my cultural standpoint, for those that know, I'm an Israelite. You understand? And our standpoint is, well, it's not really a standpoint. It's just historical fact that the people in the Bible that they speak on are black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that we're God's chosen people, which is not hard to tell. You know, we're the salt of the earth. You know what I'm saying? But you know, not getting off topic. So the black church.
No, we're gonna get into it, but
So with the black church, you know what I'm saying. You look at your Al Sharptons, you know what I'm saying? FBI informant.
That everybody seems to be shocked about, like y'all niggas say,
right? You know what I'm saying?
So any black man with a perm, dude.
Right, exactly.
Without an official church.
Yeah, right.
Nobody go by Reverend.
Right. So you got your Al Sharptons, you got your Jesse Jacksons. You know what I'm saying? You even got your Dr. Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, you know, when I have these conversations, a lot of people get mad at me because Martin Luther King sold our people out. You know what I'm saying? He even said it himself. He said he's afraid that he's led his people into a burning house, which he did.
I will tell you this though. I mean, because
go ahead.
But my biggest thing with MLK is that he eventually realized it before they took him out. And when white America realized his mindset changing, because a lot of us haven't heard the hidden speech that he had before he was assassinated.
I'll check it out.
When he was talking about, you know what, we coming to Washington to get our check.
Right.
And he started talking about land grant colleges.
Right.
And, just how, you know, land has been handed to them freely.
Sure.
They didn't have to work for nothing.
Sure.
And when he started getting militant, then that's when it's like, okay, he's getting militant and he has that power and authority over black people, over their mindset for them to follow him. We can't have him being militant at this point.
Right.
When he realized it at the end.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So like my thing with like Martin Luther King was, you know what I'm saying, like, forgive me for saying this, but I mean I really don't care. But you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, he's a liar. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, you know, that he had a dream. You know what I'm saying? That God gave him a dream. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, little black boys and little black girls would walk up to the streets hand in hand with integration. You know what I'm saying? We were way better off as a people segregated than we are integrated.
Integration is the worst thing that's ever happened.
Like we had our own banks. We had our own bus lines. We had our own
Black
taxi
Wall
lines.
Street.
We had, you know what I'm saying? Not only Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? You had Rosewood. You know what I'm saying? In Florida. You know what I'm saying? In multiple other cities. You know what I'm saying? So like, segregation is the worst thing that we could have ever done. You know what I'm saying? We had our own schools, we had our own hospitals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we had our own infrastructure. You know what I'm saying? So
we didn't realize what kind of power we had on our own.
Right.
And the thing is, we were so begging for acceptance to where, I know you hate me, but please take my money.
Sure.
Please let me come to your restaurant.
Right.
Can you please take my black dollars that I worked hard for? And just please accept me.
Right.
And I'm like, just looking back at it now, integration is the worst thing that's ever
happened.
It really has, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, MLK, you can say, is an informant or FBI plant. You know what I'm saying? Because every time there's a situation that popped up, they sent him in. You know what I'm saying? Like he was there with Hoover.
To
you know what I'm saying?
I thought about that.
Right.
Like that.
So it's like, you know, that's why, you know, I mean, even though I don't you know, follow Islam, but Malcolm was dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because he found out the basis of what Islam was, well, what he was taught was a lie, because he went to Mecca. You know what I'm saying? Because they teach, you know, white man's deals, but they're Arab, you know what I'm saying, Muslims. There are white Muslims. There are Chinese Muslims. There are black Muslims. You know what I'm saying? There are East Indian Muslims. You know what I'm saying? So Islam is just like Christianity. It's an acceptor of all people that come into their faith. But like what has our people in such a condition they're in now, we have no culture. You understand? Like we don't have I want to say a mantra, but something that tells me that this is my brother. Yeah. He's not my enemy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about the Christian church. Like, the Christian church doesn't teach you, like, the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? And if they did, we wouldn't have the violence in our community we have now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We would be more united. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were better off in civil rights, you know what I'm saying, than we are now. There were two parents in the household. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you knew if you had sex with a woman, you got her pregnant, that was your wife.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Now?
So, I mean, now that you saying all that, and the reason why I'm saying we on this topic of religion, if you know, just looking at it right now, but do you think the black church or black Christian church has hindered us from our growth? Like, because sometimes, in a sense, let me just share you my personal experience.
Go ahead.
Like, you know, I was in church faithfully, doing everything that I needed to do.
We
are, yeah, all of us. You know what I'm saying? But I left a church that I was once going to, and then it was nothing against the pastor, nothing. It was just I felt my growth and development needed to be away from where I was going.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So, but at the same time, once I left, I saw change immediately. What I mean is, everything that I was taught in church was tested. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it was tested, man, it helped me to see things in a different way, because some of the stuff I learned, it was like, man, I'm questioning all of it now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my question is, do you think the black church is taught from a book how you go to school. This is what the teachers teach by.
Right.
See what I'm saying? They're not
It's
teaching
really
it all.
watered down.
So 100%.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's just take it here. So the Bible is broken up into sections, right? You have the Torah, the Tanakh, the apocryphic text, and the Greek text that you know is the New Testament, right? Okay. Majority of the Bible is written in Hebrew. The New Testament that you know is written in Greek. Okay.
Yeah.
Closest thing that you're gonna get to how it's written in English is 1611 King James, or just a regular King James Bible. Okay. The reason why I say 1611 because it includes the 14 books that were removed from the Bible that lets Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans know who they really are. And it was taken off. It was taken out 2 years before Blacks were freed from slavery. Coincidence? I think not. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So I'm saying all that to say this. So the Christian church is, I won't even call it. It's not. It's a motivational speaking seminar. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about truth. It's not about healing the community. The reason why I say this is because, like, you're perpetuating lies. Like, you're telling people blessings is prosperity.
Yeah.
And it's not, because the word of God says that gain is not godliness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It said that I would choose thee in the furnace of affliction. You know what I'm saying? I would refine you not. He said, I would refine you not like silver, but in the furnace of affliction, because a man's character and a woman's character are determined when things are good, but when things are bad. That's how God tests you.
Yeah.
You understand? So, you know, we're not building up men and women. We're pacifying them and saying, you can come as you are, and if you sin, it's okay. No. The Lord says, okay, you acknowledge what your sin is, right?
Yeah.
But you're required to change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The scripture says, be ye perfect as my Father in heaven is perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard not to lie. It's not hard not to steal. You know what I'm saying? Not to kill. You know what I'm saying? Not to try and have sex with my brother's wife. You know what I'm saying? These things are not hard. You know what I'm saying? But what Christianity has done, it is pacified and made the black man effeminate.
And it has made us into robots.
Yes.
It really has.
What? I mean,
well, my bad. Because I just look at it like, man, any religion that teaches you, that tells you to continue to love your enemy, continue to forgive your enemy.
Can I get context on that?
Huh?
Can I get context on that?
Yeah.
So when the scripture says to love your enemy, right? Context is everything. It's not talking about somebody outside of your nation.
Yeah.
Right? It's talking about, like, say if let's say for instance, like, we grew up together, right? And you know, we got brothers and stuff. So my brother killed your brother, right? And that would immediately put us on two sides of a fence. Right? So even though we grew up together and we love each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, your brother killed my brother, bro. I love my brother. You know what I'm saying? And that would make us enemies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason why it says love thy enemy, you know what I'm saying? Because he's your brother at the end of the day. We from the same people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We from the same tribe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's talking about.
Yeah.
You
And
know
see, I'm looking at it from an aspect of how it was presented to us in slavery.
Exactly.
You know, like for us, continue to forgive your slave master.
Right.
You know, forgive your. You know, I just look at it in any religion that teaches you to just be so passive.
Right.
And to receive all of this torture.
Right.
Just with open arms.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That I really have a problem with that.
And what's interesting about that, in the Bible it says that God is a man of war. Flies and gnats. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
And that's that, yeah.
So it's like Christ himself, bro, like they pacify Christ like he was this brother.
Yeah, no.
Like the scripture says that Christ was an austere man. You know what austere means? It means rigid, not malleable, firm. You know what I'm saying? So basically Christ was a real nigga.
Yeah.
You know what
You saw that when he came on, flipped over them chairs and then
straight up.
You
And
know?
he said he binded up a cord and whipped people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
They really made him passive. They really biblically
Yeah, like,
made
bro,
him
like
passive.
he would go around checking niggas, bro. Like basically, he would run niggas receipts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
basically
saying?
you saying Christ was the first one that said, "On God." Real talk.
See, for us to be getting into that context of how he really was, you know what I'm saying? Pastors have not taught on none of that.
Do you know why though?
See, yeah.
But hold on, before you say that, it's a few. I ain't gonna say none.
Well, yeah, it is a
It's
few.
a handful.
It's a handful. And you know what? I'm so glad you said that, because my dad, man, God dog it. He sent me a text of a pastor that was preaching about that. I gotta say his name.
I'm just saying, because why you looking for
Yeah,
a handful of pastors that preach on that?
That's very true.
Are the ones that church is not
Gonna give that
over
platform
5,000
to.
people.
Yeah.
They get a lot of criticism because of what they preach.
Well, I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
if I could, so I'm a part of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, right?
Hold on, before you get into that, we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna be back with more beats and politics. All right, y'all, we back, man. What we was discussing was we just talking about the church and just how the church is influencing a lot of our culture, but also at the same time it's hindering us. But you had an idea or thought that you were getting ready to speak on.
Yeah, so I was saying that, so I'm a part of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under command of Jeremy Yohana, right? So we're registered under the Southern Poverty Law Center as a hate group, right?
I read that.
Okay, so the reason why we're registered as a hate group, right, is because we have love for our community only, right? For blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
I know this is where this is going.
This is the only reason that we do what we do, because we're strictly for our people, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's not hate, that's love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, all right, so I'm gonna ask a couple of questions, right? So when you look at the black community, right, who owns the liquor stores?
Oh man, the Indians and
The Asians,
Arabs,
right? Who owns the beauty supplies?
the Koreans, Asians,
Right. Who owns the nail salons?
Asians, yeah.
Chicken spots.
Asians, yeah.
Who owns your grocery stores?
Indians and
White men.
White man, more so white people.
yeah, that's true.
All right. Who owns the gas stations?
Indians.
Right. Okay. So where's the black dollar?
Going in their hands.
Right.
Yeah.
So the scripture says that there was crafty counsel. You know what I'm saying? That all the nations of the world would say that let us make it to where Israel's name is no more in remembrance. That they take away their inheritance, take away their knowledge. They will have no more knowledge of self. Right?
Hold on, repeat that again, because I'm listening, but I hear what you're saying. Repeat that one more time.
All right. So, and what I'm talking about is Psalms 83. So if anybody want to go back and read like that whole chapter for their own. So there's crafty counsel of all the nations in the world. You know what I'm saying? Arabs, East Indians, white man. You know what I'm saying? The fake Jew. The reason why I say the fake Jew because as the Palestinians on the floor of NATO say all the time, how can Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob leave black and come back white? Okay.
Wow.
So they're converts. Okay. This is historical fact. They know that they're converts. Okay. So with that being said, there was crafty counsel because in the scriptures, if you can get the children of Israel, one person, to break one of the law, statutes, and commandments, that they would lose a war. You know what I'm saying? They had to be perfect.
That's true.
You understand? So as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have no culture. We speak the native tongue of our conquerors. And Hispanics, you know what I'm saying? Like, they speak Spanish. They're not Spaniards. They were conquered by the conquistadors and the Portuguese. Yeah. Right? So, just like we were conquered by the English.
So they were forced to speak.
Right.
You
understand? So we were forced to inherit a culture that's not our own. We didn't speak English. You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself, well, what language do we speak? You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know our native tongue. Yeah. Right? So we were a very dominant people, and we were only about our people. And black, Hispanics, and Native Americans were the most spiritual people on the face of the earth. That's not for naught. You understand? It's because we are literally the children of the Most High God, and we have forgotten. But in the latter days, the prophecy is that there will be a quickening, a great awakening, you know what I'm saying, amongst who they are during the Great Tribulation. You know what I'm saying? People start coming back into knowledge of self and remembering. And it's time for that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of people are going to watch this and be like, well, he's tripping. Because, we need to come out of the Christian church. Yeah. Because all it has done is pacify lives. But they don't even teach what's actually in the Bible.
Yeah.
Like, why do you celebrate Christmas when Jeremiah 10 tells you explicitly not celebrate Christmas? You know what I'm saying? Why don't they celebrate Passover? Why don't they keep the Day of Atonement? Why don't they keep the Feast of Jubilees? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Feast of the Day of Atonement, the Day of the Trumpets. You know what I'm saying? It's like, these are feast days that were said to be kept for all generations.
Yeah.
Christ kept the Feast of Dedication.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why don't we do these? Why don't you know about it?
Yeah.
Why don't you know what Passover is or why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but they keep Christmas, Easter. You know what I'm saying? You have some churches that have holy Halloween nights.
Yeah, when they
You know
still
what
wear
I'm
costumes.
saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? Halloween
They
night.
come there in their costumes, still get
Right.
candy, so
Right.
they still celebrate.
Right. So it's like, Satan don't care how he gets you as long as he gets you.
I ain't gonna lie to you though. Christmas gonna save me a lot of money if I start coming up.
Bro, look.
I got 4 kids. Okay?
Yeah, so starting this year, I'm not getting my kids nothing. So when they wake up and not don't see nothing, I'll be like, look, hey.
Right. And it's like,
It's just a day too.
as black men, right? Like, okay, so the way it's set up, right? It's the Most High, Christ, the man, the woman, and the children, right? So as a head of the household, it's like, all right. So we're the scriptures is the control and experiment, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're the experiment. You know what I'm saying? Because we vacillate from one polarization to another polarization.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? The scripture is not subject to change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, as a man, when you have a guideline that does not change, and you say, we're doing this based off of this, that's your power.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You understand? So, it's not saying we're not going to celebrate Christmas. I say we're not celebrating Christmas. We're not celebrating Christmas because it goes against what the Word of God says. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is the Christian church does not teach that. You know what I'm saying? It does not teach men how to be righteous leaders of the household, because we're groomed this from birth. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
like I say, robots.
right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Before we went to break, when I was talking about the robots concept, this is pastor out of Louisville, Kentucky. I was able to look it up. His name is Stephen Darby. He was like the most outspoken pastor. Realize I said was.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He passed away. He passed out at a retreat and was pronounced dead. I want to say like 30 minutes, 45 minutes after he passed out. I mean, is it a coincidence, or whatever? But
Yeah.
but for his family, he was in full health. Nothing was wrong with him. But he was like one of the. It's only like a handful of pastors that will actually talk about the manipulation of Christianity in a Baptist church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he was one of them. In a lot of those viewpoints that you brought up, it really do make sense. But I look at it. I have different reasons as well,
Yeah,
or additional reasons why I'm frustrated with Christianity. Just like Nipsey Hussle, for example. Black people need to realize Nipsey Hussle. This is bigger than. He's bigger than what a lot of people don't realize.
Right.
And I don't mean to put him on that pedestal. I'm not going to say he's Jesus, just like your boy did, comparing him to Jesus.
Bro, that is, Jermaine Dupri is an idiot.
Yeah, Jermaine Dupri. Yeah, he was like, I believe he's Jesus.
Excuse my French. He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. That was like, I don't care what kind of context he meant it or whatever.
Right.
But that's just really dumb context.
Right.
That's just they just have no reason and no thought of it.
And no knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
But what I was saying was, about my reasons or whatever. Like, why can't, if your elected black officials can't do what Nipsey was able to do in the black community, if these pastors with these mega $1 million churches can't do what one man, what he was able to do, buy out a strip, just just a small start.
Right.
If you can't do that, if you're not willing to do that, but you're a $420 billion industry, every year, and we're still in the position that we're in,
They ain't getting taxed.
and you're not holding these politicians accountable, and you're not, you're not taking action, and you're constantly preaching about hope.
Right.
Hope. Forgiveness.
But it's some pastors that's not preaching about that, and I want to ask you about.
But y'all get what I'm saying.
No, I totally agree.
And there's a few other reasons why, but those are the main
When you
things.
talk about that, the only pastor that first comes to mind is Joel Osteen.
Oh man.
All right, so.
But hold on, I got a question.
A motivational speaker.
Thank you.
We all know that.
Thank you.
I mean, but I want to ask you about this pastor, man. He's freaking hilarious, and I don't know if you might know what I'm about to say, but some stuff, a lot of stuff I don't agree because he's such a clown to me, and I just don't take him serious. But you know, Thaddeus Matthews.
I've heard the name.
The cussing
Because
pastor.
I knew you about to
Oh
say.
yeah.
I know you talking about
Didn't he get caught up in like some child pornography type?
Huh? This must have been recent.
That's he kind of like he wore
glasses.
glasses.
This the brother here.
I'm the cussing pastor.
This one.
Yeah, he was
Out of
supposed
St. Louis or something like that?
Memphis.
Memphis. Okay.
yeah, like he was supposedly like caught up in like something recently or whatever. Like that's why you ain't really like heard from him recently.
Yeah, that is true. He did have like a nice little following that was buzzing, that was
Right.
sizzling a little bit.
I'll fact check it real quick, but I think it had something to do with illicit sex or something like that or whatever. But I'll fact check it. But as far as like what I think,
people like, I'm just saying people like him, for the pastors like that. I mean, this dude, he professes Christ and preaches all this stuff, but he's in a way, it's like, I don't know if to take you serious or what.
Yeah.
so
Because you got these you got a lot of them out there.
I'm gonna say this, right? So like Christians aren't Christians, right? We in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, right? Like anybody that's not in the truth, we call Christians. Man, if you're Islamist, you're Buddhist, because like you're overly accepting, bringing everyone into the world. But the truth is, like the kingdom of heaven, according to Scripture, has 12 gates for the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
Yeah.
If you're not one of those 12 tribes, you're not getting into the kingdom of heaven. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's period.
So like, it's kind of expound on that too after you make your statement.
No sweat. So, like, Christianity is the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it
Like,
doesn't.
it's and if I could,
Yeah, you should.
it's all inclusive. You know what I'm saying? And it's not.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Romans chapter 9 explicitly tells you that the promises, the adoption, the service of God, and who concerning the flesh that Christ came is only for the children of Israel. And then in Hebrews 8:8 it says that Christ, he's the mediator of the New Testament for those that were under the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Testament is just another word for covenant.
Yeah.
So it's just like this, right? So let's say you filling out an application for a job, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you know certain jobs like you can't have any line throughs on your application. You're like, okay, well I messed up. You know what I'm saying? Can I get another application?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm giving you a new application, but you're still the same applicant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. The new covenant is for the same people that's under the old covenant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people like, man, I can't wait for Christ to come. The scripture says that, but the day of the Lord will be darkness and not light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing beautiful that's going to be about when Christ comes. It says that he's going to come with 200,000 chariots. It's going to look like a scene out of Independence Day. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be a glorious day. That's going to be a day of terror and darkness because people are going to die. You know what I'm saying? There is unatoned blood in the ground for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that has to be atoned for. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth the sword must be killed with the sword. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, this is prophecy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when we say that the white man is going to go into slavery for what he did to us, you understand? People are like, oh, you're preaching hate, but Isaiah chapter 14 explicitly says that. It says, the stranger shall be joined to Jacob.
You think a lot of the things that they're doing right now is in fear?
Yes.
Because they know.
So yeah, not because you saying
you also had you said you had another question.
Yeah, my other question was it really kind of going away from, but I'll go back to
Okay.
it. It was talking about just where we come from. Since we are, we are this shade of black. Most people will say, "Oh, your lineage comes from Africa."
It's bullshit.
So yeah, that's and the reason why I want to ask you that because I know you make comments about it on Facebook and people, they come against you. They be like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we African, yada yada yada.
Okay, so so there's an old saying from like the '60s, right? That all my skin folk ain't my kinfolk. All right, let me break this down real plain, right? Okay, only people of ignorance, i.e., my people, African Americans, claim a whole continent. No one on the continent of Africa calls themselves African. Okay, they first claim their nationality, their country, their nation, right? Then their tribe. I use the example because I just did this. I use the example of Nigeria, right? So in Nigeria, you have the Yoruba tribe, right? And you have the Igbo tribe. You have the Hassani and a couple of other ones, right? Yeah. So they, you know what I'm saying? When you ask them where they're from, they say I'm Nigerian. Okay, then they'll say, okay, I'm
Ethiopian.
So they'll say their nationality.
Yeah.
Then they'll tell you their tribe. Okay. The continent of Africa has 54 countries. Right. Within those countries, multiple nations. Within those nations, multiple tribes. Within those tribes, multiple families.
Yeah.
So to claim, say, my lineage is from Africa, right? It's ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot claim a whole continent. That just shows you that you do not know who you are and where you come from. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. So, when people talk about that, to say that you're African American is a misnomer. Because first and foremost, Africa was named after Scipio Africanus and America was named after Amerigo Vespucci. Two white men. Two white men can't make black people. So that's a misnomer. You can't call yourself African American. That's not a nationality. Yeah. Black is not a nationality. Like, you are not this color, right? You know what I'm saying? The children of Israel said, the scripture said that the children of Israel are black unto the ground, all right? So let's look at the ground, all right? So when you first turn over the topsoil is the creme de la creme, it's the darkest, right? You know what I'm saying? But as you go down and down, you go from different hues of brown to like to a tan of what the sand on the beach is. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It says that Ephraim is an unturned cake. It's like pancake. So like, you got the part that's unturned is bubble on the top. It's light. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have light skinned people because of slavery, because they said white people, that's ignorant. The reason why that's ignorant is because you're basically telling me that no man slave had any children. All of our women were raped, and no black man had any children. It's the same thing with the Hispanics, right? When the conquistadors, the Portuguese and the Spaniards came to say, oh, they're white people. You know what I'm saying? Because they were raped by the Spaniards. So you mean to tell me that no Olmec, no Aztec, no Mayan, no Taino, none of those men had any children whatsoever? It's bullshit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when you say that I'm African, whenever I hear a black person says that I'm African, it lets me know that you don't know who you are. You haven't done the research in your family. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that hard. You can go through the DOS rolls, and better yet, you can go through the census and find out who you are. I've done it. You know what I'm saying? It's not the majority of all black people have Native American in their family. Yeah. And the fact that you celebrating Thanksgiving is a spit in the face of your ancestors.
I did the research on the Thanksgiving, and that's like you're celebrating the slaughter
of your ancestors.
Like literally you're celebrating the slaughter, and the Thanksgiving is their celebration of we finally got them wiped out. Now we can really use this land for our purpose.
Right, and it's not one black person that I've talked to in my life on this earth. You know what I'm saying? That I've asked, it doesn't tell me they don't have Native American in their blood. It's somewhere down there they have Native American in their family.
Yeah, I know my father's side, that's a lot of Native Americans on that side.
Exactly. And that's so funny you said. I'm glad you said that because it's at a point where a lot of us make fun of. Because I've even heard black people say, like say for instance, if you got good hair or whatever. Right. Or let me guess, you got some Indian in your family. But you know what I'm saying? Or something like that.
But the misnomer is there were more Native American tribes that had Nazi hair.
Yeah.
That looked like lamb's wool
Yeah.
than those that are. So the ones that you see in the movies
Yeah.
with the straight hair, those are people of Mongoloid
Yeah.
lineage,
Yeah.
of Asian lineage.
Mm-hmm.
There are more Native American tribes that look like me. All of them are copper colored.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they all look like me and you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they have the civilized Native American tribes. You know, your Cherokee, your Comanche, your Choctaw, your Nietzsche, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then you have your uncivilized tribes. These are the tribes that refuse to come up under the governmental branch.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I need you to certify who I am?
Yeah.
You understand? So you had, when they came in and removed people from, so majority, the Trail of Tears is from Virginia, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Louisiana to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what you have to realize is you have black people, right, that are actually Native American because they refuse to move off of their land.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go back in the census, like, you can use family.org, you can use it's a couple of them. I'll mention them later when we want to take a break.
We'll put them in the link at the bottom.
Yeah, but you can check the census records and you can check the birth and death records and marriage records. So like me, my family has been in Alabama, you know what I'm saying? And it goes all the way back to, the record that I found was 1803. And the birth date of that person was in the 1700s. Okay? And that's Choctaw land where they live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, and that was a prominent land. So, like, I was like, okay, so where does the name Woodward come from? You know what I'm saying? That's my family's pedigree.
Yeah.
Okay? So in Alabama, there was a Woodward mechanical company that did like all of doesn't matter if it was woodwork, steel work, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Quite naturally, they had slaves, right? So you have to check like the DOS rolls, the Freedmen bureaus, and things of that nature, or whatever. And like a lot of the times, what we realize is when you see people classified as colored, mulatto, or black, majority of these people are Native American. You know what I'm saying? They just wrote these things so they wouldn't have to be moved off of their land because they checked Native American that they would have to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about knowing who you are, right? And the transatlantic slave trade, right, was a travesty. You know what I'm saying?
It was. Yeah.
So, but it's also how it's told is a lie.
Yeah.
Right? So they say that 900 million people, right, were transported over the totality of the transatlantic slave trade. Let me show you how this is a misnomer, okay? So at the bottom of the ship, you can maybe fit 150 to 200 people, right? But you also have to store your cargo because you have to be able to feed slaves and the people on the ship, the crew.
Yeah.
Right? And then whatever you're trading. Okay, then on top of that, the voyage is 3 months from that side of the world to this side of the world. Okay? So when I did the math, it said it would take 10,000 years to transport that many people here. So it's impossible.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. So that means the majority of the slaves were already here.
Yeah.
They captured us here and moved us around here.
Wow.
So
it kind of makes that. Now I'm thinking about
when you really do the math, it really, add up.
Right.
Yeah.
So like what they would do is, so like say for instance, like if you in the Caribbean islands, right? I would capture you here, and I would take you from the Caribbeans to North Carolina. Yeah. Right. And I would sell you on the auction block there. Yeah. This is a slave that I brought from Africa. Yeah. You understand?
Because a lot of us don't understand that, like these slave owners, these slave masters or whatever, they will go to like a lot of these different, countries, and would auction us off. They would have deals
Right.
with other, countries.
Right.
That's why you have so many of us in the UK.
Right.
That's why you have so many of us over in, other countries, Europe.
So, but the scripture says that the children of Israel are scattered to the four corners of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So we have Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in the UK. We have Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in Africa. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that we don't. You know what I'm saying? To say that would be ignorant.
Yeah.
Okay? We have them in Russia. We have them in Asia. You understand? So, but it says in the last days that you will know the children of Israel by the curses, right? So when you start breaking down the curses, like one of them, it says that you will be the lender. I'm sorry, you will be the borrower, not the lender. You know what I'm saying? It says that the men, the fathers, and the mothers will eat of their own flesh, and that's an analogy for abortions.
Yeah.
There's no Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have the highest abortion rate of all nations on the face of the earth.
That's by design.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
But it's by prophecy. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're gonna take another quick break, and we're gonna be back. We're gonna be some politics.
Let's see. Where do we stop off at though? So we were okay. So we were talking about how Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, like most of them, don't really know their origin, right? And we were talking about how how people say we come from Africa, and how I'm saying that's a misnomer, right? Because to claim a whole continent is ignorant. That means you don't know who you are, you don't know your pedigree, and no one on the continent of Africa calls himself African. You know what I'm saying? It's asinine. You know what I'm saying? So then I have these guys saying, well, Israel. I mean, you saying Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and Israel is on the continent of Africa. You know what I'm saying? They removed, the Middle East from Africa. That's even a misnomer. You know what I'm saying? Because all the continents on the face of the earth are separated by tectonic plates.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So where the Arabian Peninsula or the Middle East is called the Arabian Plate. Like, it's separated in the Garden of Eden, and the nation of Israel is the same place, and it's outlined from east of the Nile River, from the Nile River all the way up to the Tiger and Euphrates. That's the entire Middle East.
Yeah. But see, a lot of things. This is another thing too. A lot of people gonna look back at what you're saying, and they're gonna be like, "Well, what about the people that's in Africa that speak that language? Like, why they're not speaking Hebrew or that tongue?"
So okay. All right, so I'll put it like this, right? So, since antiquity, right, there's always been a great power, right? So, like the world power right now is America, which is why majority of all of the world speaks English to a certain degree. Okay,
Yeah, that's true.
So you go all the way back to antiquity, right? Dealing with Babylon, you know what I'm saying, and Nebuchadnezzar and all that or whatever. So during that time, the language was Paleo-Phoenician Hebrew, right?
Yeah.
So that was the language that the world spoke at that time.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so moving forward, you know what I'm saying? So the next great civilization was the Persian Empire, right?
Yeah.
So majority of the people spoke that language at that time.
Yeah.
Moving on to Egyptian culture, which was the next huge monolith in the world, so on and so forth, all the way down to here.
Yeah.
So when you say like, well, why the people in Africa don't speak this language? Majority of the people in Africa, they speak 3 languages, right? They speak their native tongue. They speak French because they've either been colonized by the French, or they speak English, they've been colonized by the English.
Yeah.
Okay? So whatever their native tongue is, they keep their culture. They speak that. And they speak the native tongue of their conqueror, because the conqueror had to be able to communicate with their workers, with their slaves.
Yeah.
Right? So they either speak French or English or Italian or Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay? So, Africa is it's a slave colony, the whole continent. You know what I'm saying? Especially from the Sahara all the way down to Central Africa to the Congo. You know what I'm saying? Even down to Cape Town.
Yeah.
And these are all colonies that have been carved up by corporations and countries.
Yeah.
You understand? So right now, the country that really owns Africa right now is China.
Yeah.
You understand? So right now, if you look at NATO, you watch CNN, like China's like buying up everything and partnering.
They're buying up
so much
Jamaica, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So and then they own majority of the debt in the United States.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? So like majority of the Washington monuments and all that stuff China owns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This is why they have so many of the perks here in this country that they do. In every major city you go to, it's literally like 3 to 4 different Chinatowns.
Right.
Different stuff.
So based on all you saying, just you speaking about the history and what we know, and let's cater back to this. Why is it that in the black church we're not teaching our history? And basically, now thinking about it, if we're all educated, because I feel like we just miseducated. We don't know the truth. We're only learning what's been given to us, and what they're feeding us is not good.
So let's look at it from.
I'm talking about, like, I'm not saying just the churches, but they're going off what they learned and they feeding.
So I'm with you.
I want to answer that question a little bit too.
Okay. All right. So we'll both chime in. I'm gonna give my answer.
Yeah.
So how can, if I'm your enemy, right, and let's say you, like your father, right, okay, like your parents, like when we went to war with your people, you were 4 years old. I killed your entire family, like all the adults in your family. You were a child, right, and I indoctrinated you into the history of what happened. All history is his story, right? It's told from the perspective of the winner. Okay, so to answer your question, why does Christianity teach this? Majority of your pastors go to theology school. You know what I'm saying? And they're taught the Bible from a white perspective, when the entire book is about black people. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, okay, if Christ is black, why is it when you go in majority churches, he's white? Okay? If the scripture says that God, the angels, like the Most High God, all the angels, they're black, why when you see pictures of angels, they're little white naked babies?
I'm so tired of seeing that.
You know what I'm saying? If all the apostles are black, like prime example, I believe it's in Acts, you know what I'm saying, where it tells you that the apostles came from the Niger Valley, which is in Africa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And majority of all the apostles are black. Why are they all portrayed as white?
Yeah.
What you getting ready to say?
And those are good, good reasons that you give. I look at mine, for us, black folks, man, we're so infatuated with celebrities. We're so infatuated with mega pastors. We're so indoctrinated of whatever those big heads say, it's law.
Right.
It's the truth. So it's no point of me researching this on my own time to get the truth.
Like
whatever
snakes.
Whatever he says, whatever he says goes, because I am under his leadership. Whatever he says is the truth and the only truth. I'm not willing to learn anything else.
Right.
And
but no, I'm saying that the thing is, a lot of times when you go to church nowadays, people want to feel good when they leave from church. Versus you telling me, okay, you messed up. This is what you're doing wrong. People don't want to hear that.
We are a Band-Aid culture because we got so much pain in us. Historical pain, current pain. We're so used to going to church and getting a Band-Aid slapped on us. You know what I'm saying? With lies, with being gassed up, and then being, when your battery's dead in your car, you got to go get your partner to come give you a jump for you to get back on the road. And that's what we do every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We're dead batteries when we get to church, and we get a little recharge of hope and a lot of, bullshit.
Right.
And then we off back into the public being vulnerable to, you know, racism, white supremacy, you know what I'm saying? Just, and I don't want to get super,
No, do it.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't say don't,
but that's what it is. That's our culture. So we're a band-aided group of people.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question, because I know you know, just like I said, when we talked about doing this episode, we was like, man, I was only one person I can think of about doing this episode on religion, and just about, you know, the lifestyle and how it's shaped our lives. But I wanted to ask you, when did you decide to say, hey, I need to make the change? Or did somebody tell you need to be a Hebrew Israelite? Did somebody just say, hey, you need to come join us? Or was it just the change you was already getting ready to make, and it just seemed like the culture of Hebrew Israelite basically said, this is where you belong?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So just to give people my background. So I grew up in a Christian church in Houston, Texas.
Brentwood
Baptist Church. You know what I'm saying? My mom is still a reverend there. Okay. I was very active in the church. You know what I'm saying? I was a PK kid. I was at church 5 out of 7 days out of the week. Okay. One thing that is awesome about going to college, especially going to college out of state, you leave the framework and the structure of your home.
Yeah.
Right? And you get to actually develop as a human being.
Life.
Right? Life happens rapidly.
Instantly.
So after I graduated, it was after I graduated, I moved back, and I was staying on Ross for a little bit, so I got back active in church. But you know, taking African American studies and have traveled and stuff like that. So I went to Bible study. I asked a question to Reverend Ford at the time. We were having Bible study or something, but we were reading, I think it was like Psalms 1, and it was talking about, it was one of my favorite scriptures where it says, how a man of the Lord, he meditates in the word day and night.
Yeah.
So I did a quick search on the word meditate, and it's mentioned 35 times in the Bible, but it's key points talking about meditation, right? Mm-hmm. So I asked him, so what does the word meditate mean in the Bible? He was like, oh man, it's you read the word and you just think about it, you know what I'm saying? You just ponder on it. And I was like, that's bullshit. You're giving me you're giving me a stick of wood right now.
Very generic.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
because he didn't have an answer.
He didn't have an answer for it. So I was like, okay, so if he's lying about this, whatever, what else is he lying about? Mm-hmm. And then I asked myself, am I a Christian because I've been classically conditioned and raised up in this framework, or is this truly the culture of my people? You know what I'm saying? I started asking myself questions like, who am I? Mm-hmm. Right? And then I went off on a tangent of studying world cultures and religions for 7 years. You know what I'm saying? I've traveled, you know what I'm saying? And asking myself that key question, who am I? Where do I fit in this macrocosm of nationalism and amalgamation of cultures that are in this world?
So you say you went on a spiritual journey, or just just a self-reflect journey?
Right, the same. Okay, so my dad's a huge historian. He's a huge history buff. He's never been a very biblically sound dude. Mm-hmm. I mean, he believes in certain things in the Bible. Yeah. But he's a huge history buff.
Oh, hold on. I don't mean your old man. Every time I see him or you post a picture, the brother's fly, man.
Yeah, he's from the Midwest, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a Midwest player. You feel
like a Harlem mobster.
Yeah, he's a two-stepper. You understand? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't mean
that's all. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Shout out to Wallwood. You feel me?
Yeah.
So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? I studied Buddhism, Hinduism. I got caught in Kemet for a while. And doing transcendental meditations, all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And, where most people, would shade from the avant-garde, you know what I'm saying, and the mysticism, I dove straight in, right? And the more and more that I actually studied history, the more and more the stories in the Bible came true. You understand? And it's people are like, well, these places never existed, these people never existed, and it's complete fallacy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and most people don't really study history. Like we're a culture of people that study memes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Repost memes.
Yeah.
You know, or they're YouTube scholars.
Yeah.
But it's very seldom people that do the actual scholarship. You know what I'm saying? Read books, go to these places. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been to Egypt and Israel. You know what I'm saying? Like I've studied in these places. You know what I'm saying? Like I've read countless books. You know what I'm saying? And another thing about reading books, like you have to, like these books are opinions for the most part. So you have to study who the author is. You know what I'm saying? Why he wrote this book. You know what I'm saying? These are regurgitated thoughts. Yeah. And then like majority of the stuff they're talking about is cited material. So then you have to read the cited material. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I read books, like I look at like the works cited page a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are they pulling this material from? Where they extrapolate. So I did like a lot of research. You know what I'm saying? And the more and more research I did, the more and more I studied history. You know what I'm saying? Everyone should do. You shouldn't take anything that I'm saying as the gospel, because I didn't. I did my own research. You know what I'm saying? And in doing my own research, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the real children of Israel. Yeah. Period. Like there's no question. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll give a quick prophecy. Revelations 2:9 and 3:9. It says that I know thy works and thy tribulation, talking about the real children of Israel, and thy poverty. So in the last days, the children of Israel are going to have hard times in hell. They're going to be in a low diminished state. And it says, but thou art rich. Then it says, I know the blasphemy of them that call themselves Jews, but are not, but do lie and are a synagogue of Satan.
What script? Where is that?
Revelations 2:9 and Revelations 3:9. It says the exact same thing twice. It was so nice he had to say it twice. You know what I'm saying? Twice. So, who calls himself a so-called Jew today? The white man. Right? And it says, when the children of Israel are in rulership, the world will be at peace. You know what I'm saying? The Ashkenazi Jews rule the world now. Right? There's no peace in the world. Man. So that's how you know they're not the real children of Israel. Yeah.
So, man, you giving a lot of information that's gonna make me want to go.
You know, one thing I like about this though, you giving a lot of scriptures. You're not just up here talking the white man this and a white man that and a white man
one
this.
One thing that I always say, Commanding Jury, Your Honor, you know what I'm saying? Every student, trooper, officer, captain, in general, like when you speak, you say according to. Yeah. Right? Like your opinions don't mean anything.
And I'm glad that you're not spewing out a bunch of opinions. I like that you actually.
And I can see the growth from when you first. I knew when you first started.
Yeah. Right, I was a zealot.
Hey, you know what? I gotta get to that because I noticed a lot of other, brothers that practice, Hebrew, Israelite, the religion or whatever you want to call it. Culture. Yeah. A lot of them are. This at a point where they're so militant to where it's disrespectful, to where it strays away. Because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of stuff that you say, a lot of stuff that you're bringing, to the public right now on the podcast, it is interesting, and it's gonna make me, study myself. And when you come from an aspect with like the vibe that you giving, more so out of love, that's gonna make people listen to you. Right. But when you're
with the truth though.
Yeah, but when you're coming from a place of, if you pop firecrackers on the 4th of July, you a cool.
So it's there's a time and a place for everything, right? So, like I said, like the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, right? Like we're in the Southern Law of Poverty Center, we're classified as a hate group, right? Like when we're out here, we're out on the street and we're teaching, right? We teach on subject matters dealing with current events. And a lot of times, it's not going to sit well with people. You know what I'm saying? The truth is not supposed to make you feel good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says that it's like a double-edged sword penetrating the flesh, cutting through bone all the way down into the spirit. You know what I'm saying? So basically, as we say, like we're here to cut you. You know what I'm saying? Because being comfortable is what got black people in the condition that we're in now. You know what I'm saying? It's time to be uncomfortable.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And be uncompromising. Like, the truth is uncompromised. It's not going to make you feel good. When I realized the point that I had been lied to my entire life, I was extremely angry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, in adding to what he said, like, when I first came to truth, I was a zealot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't care who you were. If you had an ear, I was like, did you know this? Did you know that? Like, I would waterboard people with information instead of just planting seeds. You know what I'm saying? But that wisdom comes with time and maturity in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, you know, when the Bible speaks of elders in the scriptures, it's not just necessarily talking about people of age, because there are old fools and young fools.
Yeah.
Right? But it's talking about those leaders in the black community, you know what I'm saying, in the Hispanic community, the Native American community, that are there for their people, that are, you know what I'm saying, like my Israelite name is Tazadak. Tazadak means justice. And that's what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? I'm about the justice of my people. You know what I'm saying? And it's truth. So when you say speaking in love, so I'll quote Revelations. I'm sorry, I mean First John 5, 2, and 3, what the definition of love is. Like, most people quote 1 Corinthians, which says love is patient, love is kind, but when you actually pull the King James, like 16:11, it gives the definition of what agape is. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a Greek word that's right there.
Yeah.
So in 16:11 it says charity is kind, charity is patient, charity is long suffering. That scripture is not about love. That's not the definition of love. The actual definition of love in the Bible is 1 John 5, 2 through 3. It says, for this is the love of God, that you keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, and what it's saying is, it's not hard not to steal.
Yeah.
It's not hard not to love this brother like myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not hard not to covet your neighbor's wife.
Yeah.
It's not hard not to eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, these things are dead. Like, it's not God saying you can't eat these things because you can't eat these things.
Yeah.
Like, these things are a detriment to your body. You know where hypertension, diabetes, and high blood pressure comes from that plagues the black, Hispanic, Native American community. Because we don't keep the commandments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I will tell you this though. That's really good what you say, but it's a lot of blacks at this point where there's a certain group of blacks that just not every brother is your brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's certain people that can't be saved.
Okay,
You know what I'm
so saying on that, right? Like, what stopped me from being a zealot, and because I used to get so angry and frustrated. Like, I don't see how you don't get this. Like, this is the truth. This is who we are. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get to the point of understanding that, and this is gonna hurt a lot of people when I say this. Niggas are gonna die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The scripture says that 2/3 of Israel, 2/3 of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans will die, because scripture says that my people perish for lack of knowledge.
That's basically what I was saying. Not and man, you broke it down in a good way. And that's what's holding us back, I believe. Sorry, that's what's holding us back in a lot of ways.
So that's probably why, because you're now, because y'all talking now, making me think that's why we have so much. What you say? We killing one another, and we see so much about people getting killed.
There's so much turmoil, and there's so many groups within blacks that we're so divided. You know what I'm saying?
So the reason why we're divided, and the reason why there's so much crime in the black, Hispanic, and Native American community is due to economic impoverishment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Until you take away all the resources, we're gonna fight over
It's rats on top of each other fighting for little morsels of cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but this is why where we are is so pivotal, because if we come together with no resources, imagine how powerful we'll be with resources.
Yeah.
You understand? This is where one of the commandments, loving our brother, is myself. Yeah. Like, I know that I want to eat every day, so I'm gonna make sure like, if you hungry, I'm gonna make sure you eat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I need shelter. Yeah. So I know you need shelter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if we as a people have this basic premise, you know what I'm saying, towards one another, that stops black on black crime.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That stops economic poverty. One thing that I give to my Hispanic brothers, you know what I'm saying, they know how to stick together.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like a term that people should research that Hispanics naturally do is socioeconomics. Socioeconomics is like, let's say, okay, so between us we have 3 families.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll have a pot to where we get paid every 2 weeks. We put $100 in the pot. That's $300 a month. Mm-hmm. I mean, well, that's $600 a month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So every 2 weeks, that pot goes to a family. Right? Okay, so over the year, you have a certain amount of money that you know that's coming to your family, help your family with bills, whatever. This is what the Hispanic people do.
Yeah.
So
that's what the church was supposed to do.
Right.
Man.
So they'll have like 3 families that'll live in the house, right? So they'll start off with getting a vehicle.
Yeah.
All right. So the vehicle, all the men will go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then they'll use the money to get another vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. So while men didn't work, like the women like have like a house cleaning service.
It's organizational skills, bro.
So and then the parents may not be able to speak, you know, in English that well. You know what I'm saying? The children are going to school, so as they coming up on the weekends, they working wherever the parents work and stuff like that. So they're able to translate for the parents and things of that nature. So as they're getting money, right, they'll go get another house, right? You know what I'm saying? And they'll move one family out, put them in that house, but they're still on the same team. They're still working together. So they're pulling in so to where each family, those 3 families, each of them have a house, and then the house they lived in, that'll just go to one of the families.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Man,
so, but as black people, you know what I'm saying, like, we don't have that mentality because, like, it's frowned upon for you to be 30 years old, still living in your parents' house. But when you look biblically, right, Jacob was a man.
That's true.
Yeah.
Living in his father's house. Jacob and Esau, they were men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when his father died, he sent a servant to his father's country to get him a wife.
Yeah, and this is why poverty in the black community is so generational. It's so just a cycle because we, as a people, the minute you turn 17 or 18, you out my damn house. You can't come back, you know. And we putting these kids out that don't have any money saved up, you know, no financial, intellect, and we just creating a generational cycle of poverty.
So
knowing everything that we know and everything you shared with us, how can, say if somebody's interested in just translating and finding that spiritual journey to get to where they're trying to go, because obviously, you know, some people didn't find it in the church. Some people got to the point where church ran them off. You know what I'm saying? When you got to where, like you said, you feel like you was lied to and you wasn't told the truth. You said you went on a spiritual journey to get to where you want to go, but was God the factor of it, or it was a self journey? You know what I'm saying? To where it brought you back to he really brought you back to God. Because for me, listen to what you're saying, it kind of like you went on a journey by yourself, had to suffer, but God said, I'm gonna bring you back into a fold where I really need you to be and get the trip you need.
What's very interesting is my mother had a dream and had a vision. She said God came to her in a dream because she was worried because I was going off in Kemet and
I'm glad you didn't say that.
Yeah, Most High in Christ. And I found, you know what I'm saying, like the truth, you know what I'm saying, and who I am as an Israelite. I started walking. Yeah. And my mom said, you know, she had a dream, like it was a mountain. And God told her to let me go, you know what I'm saying, because it's many ways to the top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? And in saying that, that's in all of our lives, right? So the whole point is to get to the kingdom, right? Kingdom of heaven, right? So let's say the kingdom of heaven is the apex of the mountain, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But the foundation, the base of the mountain is our birth when we're born. So you got your life, my life. You know what I'm saying? So we on 3 different corners. You know what I'm saying? The base of the mountain, forests, you know what I'm saying, diverse terrains, you know what I'm saying, jagged rocks, you know what I'm saying, and we're all fighting through our life to get to God, right? But most people don't really care take that journey of self-reflection, right? And to find God and to find out, first and foremost, who you are. Because in finding out who you are, because it's like, all right, so all religion, I'm going to say this is something that needs to be said here. All religion is based off a specific people's cultural system, okay? So Buddhism is the spiritual system of Asia Major, right? Hinduism is the spiritual system of Asia Minor, okay? Islam is the spiritual system of the Arabs, okay? So on and so forth. Christianity is a spiritual system that's based off of the children of Israel, right? Same thing with Judaism. It's based off the spiritual system of the children of Israel, right? So all people on the face of this earth, you know what I'm saying, with Santeria, Ifa, Voodoo, they follow the Orisha. These spiritual systems of East, West, and Central Africa that went into South, Central, and somewhat North America, you know what I'm saying, because we came from there, you know what I'm saying, because of fleeing captivity, you know what I'm saying. So all these spiritual systems or religions are based off of specific people's spiritual systems. So the question that everybody has to ask is, who is the God of your people? Right? You know what I'm saying? And people ask, well, you know, we've been praying to God for, and what's interesting, 2019 marks 400 years slavery.
Wow, I just realized that.
And what's crazy is this Passover is the 50th annual Passover. It marks the year of Jubilee. You know what I'm saying? It's just the year of new beginning. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here and say Christ coming back, you know what I'm saying, Passover, sky gonna crack on, stuff like that or whatever. But I will say this will be the beginning of the end. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, everyone knows that time has been shortened. Like scripture says that like in the last day that she won't be able to tell the seasons apart. I mean, in Houston we experienced all 4 seasons in 1 week.
When you said that, man, my spirit really got excited, man, because I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
So the question that everyone has to ask is, who is the God of your people? You know what I'm saying? And that is the base of where everyone should start, right? And in my research and studying history, you know what I'm saying, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the same people. You know what I'm saying? We make up all of us, we make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, like these Ashkenazi Jews and things of that nature, like everybody's like, I'm a Jew, okay. Jew is short for Judah, that's one tribe. What happened to the other 12? What happened to the 11? Where are they?
You know, I don't mean to subject hop here, but it's still on the same subject. I believe a lot of us practice Christianity. You know why? We practice it because I feel like Christianity doesn't demand discipline.
It doesn't.
No, you're right.
It doesn't.
I mean, you can do the most heinous things to a group of people, or just, you know, I can go out here and kill 30 kids,
right,
and then say, I believe Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior.
So watch this.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so convenient.
I just seen a story about this.
So the Ku Klux Klan,
they're
a Christian organization.
That's exactly. And a lot of black people don't know that.
Right. They are a Christian
organization.
Okay. If you go on death row right now and all the people there are either sitting on life or waiting to get their execution, right? If you go down the row and you ask them like, what's their belief? I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Okay. Christianity does not require you to change. It requires you to ask for forgiveness.
That's it, bro. Yeah.
So, but the scripture says faith without works is dead. So you have to ask yourself, what are the works? According to the works, you know what I'm saying? the scripture says sin is transgression of the law. Christians say that the law is done away with. Okay, so you telling me that, okay, after the interview is over, I can kill everybody in your house and that's okay?
No.
As long as I ask for forgiveness.
As long as I ask for forgiveness. Like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, Christianity is relief of no accountability. You know what I'm saying?
We were just talking about that.
Bruh.
So
on the last episode, yeah.
Right. So that's why, and a lot of people not gonna like it. I don't care. So that's why, like, you can have homosexuals in the church. You know what I'm saying? You can have your choir directors. Majority of your choir directors and ministers of music are homosexuals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we saw that enough.
Right, for sure, in Brentwood.
Like
you know
in Catholic, like, you know, all
and
these,
the pedophilia. So, bro, right now I think there are like 200 counts on record with the trial they're doing going against the Catholic Church.
The priests.
The priests. I think they're like either 200 or 300 counts.
I think it's 300 counts.
Okay.
When I was looking at it.
And that's just not in Catholicism. That's also in the Christian church.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pedophilia.
Pedophilia. So and even in the church that I grew up in, the Brentwood Baptist Church, you know what I'm saying? There was a huge scandal with Joe Samuel Ratliff. You know what I'm saying? And
that a lot of them that go to that church, they don't want to talk about.
Right. Exactly.
Like to them, it happened, but it never happened.
Right. So you know, people like, well, you're supposed to forgive. Okay, well, if I'm supposed to forgive and you're asking for forgiveness, you're supposed to change.
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem with Christianity is that there's no accountability.
You're only sorry when you're caught.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Christ himself said that my Father gave me commandments, and even so I follow. So what makes you think if Christ had to follow the commandments of God that you don't have to?
You don't have to, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is why we have so much turmoil.
Exactly. And the turmoil that we're going through in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community are curses. These are the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. You know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through 14 are the blessings if you keep the commandments.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Verse 15 through 16 are the curses if you don't. You know what I'm saying? And the curses only apply to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy 28 and 68 says that I will send thee upon ships, okay, into slavery with yokes of iron upon your neck, okay? And you will serve your enemies as bondmen and bondwomen. There's only one people in antiquity that's been sold in slavery on ships to a land where eagles fly, which is also prophesied in Deuteronomy 28. That's Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because before the transatlantic slave trade, okay, the Hispanics, the Olmecs, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Taínos, through the Reconquista, you know what I'm saying, which is the Spanish Inquisition, which was the prerequisite for the transatlantic slave trade. It happened to them first.
Yeah. So actually going through research, because you know, we're not going to go into this. This is a whole nother episode. I'm not sure if you guys heard about ADOS.
Yeah.
With the reparations, which I'm totally agreeing to.
So,
you know
but this is the problem with reparations, right? Okay.
I feel like what you're saying though, real quick. I don't want to. If it's like really like that, what you're talking about,
right?
Blacks, Hispanics, and
Native
Americans deserve reparations.
So, but this is the problem.
Native Americans already got money. Native Americans already got money.
So the scripture says that a gift destroys the heart.
Yeah.
Right? Why would I want monetary compensation when this land belongs to them?
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the natural resources in this land belong
So technically, the reparations, we're basically asking for everything, man.
So the reason why they killed Gaddafi, right, was because he was about to create a centralized bank of Africa that was based off the natural resources in the ground, right? So if he would have did that overnight, that would make countries like France, Great Britain,
it would shut their economies down.
It would make them third world countries overnight. Yeah. Okay? Because it goes back to what everything was supposed to be. Everything was based off a barter system, a scale, right? So if I was to give you like a bushel of wheat, right, and you were $50 fishermen, you had fish.
Yeah.
So we would weigh it on a scale.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it had to be an even balance. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it's going back to. It's not about like all currency is an IOU.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was an IOU supposed to be based off of gold, which was the standard of trade.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's funny you said that, because I was like a lot of us don't even really know about Muammar Gaddafi. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at it on CNN, they paint him as a murderer. That, you know, that killed a lot of his people.
Right.
But when you really do the research on him, like for instance,
they painted Saddam Hussein and your boy Bin Laden the same way, but America put them in power.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And when they didn't need them anymore, it's time to take them out.
Right.
But Muammar Gaddafi, what he was getting ready to do, he was getting ready to give Minister Farrakhan like trillions of dollars worth of resources. That's why whenever you look at certain movies, or it's a lot of truth to it, like the Black Panther, like the vibranium. You know what I'm saying? How valuable that would have been to that movie. And he was trying to give Farrakhan trillions of dollars worth of resource.
Sure.
We're not sure what that resource is. Could have been gold, could have been this, but why he's no longer here. You see what I'm saying?
So like I said, like a gift destroys the heart, right? So that's no different. Gaddafi giving Farrakhan whatever the monetary value and resource. It's no different from China coming to different nations in Africa's aid, right? So if I accept a gift from you, I'm corruptible and complicit. Okay? So that means that I'm tied to you and your agenda of what it is. I can't go against you because I've taken money from you.
And that resource that he was going to give Farrakhan, that he was going to dispense amongst a lot of black communities, was a certain. Well, we will never know what this resource is, but it was going to totally flip stuff upside down.
But this is what I'm saying. So like everything that we need, we have within the Black, Hispanic, Native American community. We have engineers, we have doctors. You know what I'm saying? We have physicians, we have tech guys. Because like right now, Silicon Valley is not the new leading in tech development. It's Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And it's they call it Black Tech Valley.
We have a Wakanda right here, and that you're right. That's it. Yeah.
So you know, and a lot of people are not gonna like this. You know what I'm saying? Captain Zaria, you know what I'm saying, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, he said something. It's like people was like, Africans, they are people and stuff like that. But he said something that people didn't agree with. He said, "Fuck Africa." The reason why he said "fuck Africa" is because where were they when we were going through slavery? What army did they send?
Jeez, did they create?
You know what I'm saying? Like no disrespect, but it's like, but all disrespect. It's like when they hear, they covet.
They're not rocking with us.
They covet niggas' culture.
Yeah.
Everybody want to be a nigga till it's time to be a nigga. You know what I'm saying?
So it's convenient for them.
Right. So me saying that is saying this. When they hear, they got their own communities. They got like Arabs got their own communities. The Chinese got their own communities. It's still segregation. Yeah. Like it's two Chinatowns in Houston. You got the Bel Air, right? And now they got a new one in Katy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay? Yep. All right? So, like, they don't fuck with us.
They don't rock with us, bro.
At all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll tell you, you know what Africans or Nigerians or anybody in Africa, you know what they call black people? Katas. You know what kata means? Yeah. You know what kata means?
Like it's like their way of saying nigga.
It means cotton picker, but yeah, it's their way of saying niggas. Yeah. Like I'm not no kata.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They know who they are. They know who you're not. You're not them. That's why they get mad when you wear dashikis. Because it's not your culture. That's their culture.
They was so upset with people with that Black Panther because there was so many of us, wearing the black and doing the,
right.
Yeah.
So, but that's not our culture.
Yeah.
And so, they aren't our people. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know we kind of moving away from it, but one question I do want to ask, and now that you're saying all this stuff, because it is a lot, and it's make you really think and really think about where you're going, where you're headed. And I just want to ask you this question. You know, a lot of times in church you're taught that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, right?
Mm-hmm. No man can the Father except through him.
Exactly.
Right.
So you believe that, right?
Yeah, totally.
So my thing is, do you believe that being here's Hebrew Israelite is just really that should be the apex, or where you should start as being in a group of or culture of people, or do you feel like there's other cultures and religions that teach that, and long as we all filter into that, it doesn't matter who you with. It matters what you believe.
All right. Well, let me give this disclaimer. You can't become a Hebrew Israelite. Mm-hmm. You either are or you aren't by birth. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? It's about your blood. Mm-hmm. All right. So if you're not a Black, Hispanic, or Native American, the Bible does not apply to you.
Gotcha.
And then, like a lot of people would say, well, what about John 3:16? Well, God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. I was like, okay, well, what about John 3:1? Who was He talking to? He was talking to Nicodemus. Yeah. Okay, Nicodemus was a Pharisee. You know what I'm saying? He was a ruler over the Jews. So it's just like me and you talking right now, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I'm throwing a party later, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody invite me, bring everybody. Yeah. Does that mean bring the whole, go find a random white person, bring them to my house? No, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? In the scripture it says, you know what I'm saying, that it must be precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So the precept for that is Isaiah 45:17, where it says, Israel shall be saved, world without end. You know what I'm saying? Like they won't be ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Christ said, for God to love the world, but then Christ said, love not the world. Yeah. Okay, so is that a contradictory statement? No, it's not. So you have to. So the word world means age or society. Yeah. Okay. So what age or society was he talking about when he said, "For God so loved the world"? You know what I'm saying? The new covenant that people talk about that we're under, Jeremiah 31:31 and Hebrews 8:8, is only talking about the nation of Israel, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't think I'm talking about that, you can go to the book of Revelation at the very end. The 12 gates of the gates of heaven is 12 gates. And it's for the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay? So where are the gates for the Africans, for the Hamites? Where's the gate for the Chinese, the Moabites? Where's the gate for the Ammonites, the Japanese? You know what I'm saying? There is no gate for them. Because all of them were confederate against the children of Israel. Everybody that had a hand in the demise of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because we're the only people that need saving on the face of the earth. That's true. We're the only people that don't have a culture. They don't have an army to defend us. They don't have a culture. They don't have our own language. You understand? Everybody else has theirs. You know what I'm saying? They're all confederate against us. Like the nations eat off of us. You know what I'm saying? All nations that are here in America, all of their businesses are in the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans communities. That's how they build up their wealth. That's how they build the generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? They are beasts of the field, and we as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the prey. That's an analogy. I was talking to this one dude, because I know probably this episode being at the end, but I'm gonna just make this. My boy said, our immediate oppressors, when you really look at it, are Koreans, Indians, and Arabs, because of and you have to put the dominant society over that. You know what I'm saying? The infrastructure, white people.
And they give them that power, that infrastructure to have. So it's like, that's why I was kind of like, I don't know if I can agree with that statement. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but at the same time, look at how those groups of people view us, though. So in a sense, you can kind of say there are immediate oppressors in our community. So
one of the curses in Deuteronomy 28, right? It says that you will be a byword, a proverb. You know what I'm saying? You know what byword means? That's like me calling you a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like you will be a proverb. Like all the other nations, like these people are crazy. Like you got, they can jump out of the gym. You know what I'm saying? They the fastest people on the face of the earth. They're the strongest people on the face of the earth. But they can't rise out of their condition. You understand? Like this is a prophecy. You understand? Like we are like Israel, or Yasha'al in the Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Means prince of the power. We are literally the sons of the Most High God. That's the reason why we're able to do the things that we are able to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we're the only people on the face of the earth where you can give us a little and we'll turn it into gold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why soul food is the most coveted food on the face of the planet. But these were the things, like in slavery, they ate high on the hog. They gave us low on the hog. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They gave us, what was left of the ox. We ate the tail. You know what I'm saying?
So, now that you're saying that, I don't really eat meat anymore. I don't. I'm a vegetarian now. So, speaking of food, is that, we can't eat certain things? I know, like crab and shrimp, we're not supposed to eat that at all. But what about people are Muslims, I don't eat no pig or I don't eat no salmon.
Right. So the dietary laws are in Leviticus chapter 11.
Yeah.
Right. So quick you say the spark notes if you notes, you know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying, this other sea, if it doesn't have fins and scales, you're not supposed to eat it. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So people love shrimp, crab, lobster, catfish, crawfish, right? Mm-hmm. So, and oysters, okay? Yeah. So, these are bottom feeders, right? Their job is to eat shit, excrement, piss, dead bodies. Oysters are, the reason why the ocean is blue is because of oysters. They're the natural water filtration system of the sea. Yeah. People covet pearls. You're literally wearing shit around your neck. You know what I'm saying? So, if let's say for instance that I was God, right? And you were my children, you were the prince of everything that I've created, the earth, right? Yeah. So if you were royalty, why would you eat shit? Mm-hmm. That's how God looks at it, right? Yeah. It's an abomination. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. So, everything that's created on this earth has a job. Yeah. Right? All the nations, all the peoples on the face of the earth, everyone has a job. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, our job is to rule because we were given the breath of life, the spirit of the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? You're naturally born with a conscience. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know right from wrong. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I give you a quick story about the Chinese and Japanese. You know what I'm saying? The Moabites and the Ammonites. They come from Lot. You know the story about Lot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? His wife looked back. She turned into a pillar of salt. Yeah. And while they were in the cave, his daughters, you know what I'm saying, slept with their father because they didn't have any husbands. Right? That's incest. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The reason why they have standing eyes, Slocky, they retarded. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you see videos of them eating frogs alive and all that stuff or whatever. Yeah. And this is not something that I'm coming up with. It's not my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like the Mongoloids and things of that nature or whatever, they were known to have Down syndrome. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So this is all in the Bible. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is where this comes from. They are a country, a nationality of incest. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Which has deformities to the mind. Mm-hmm. So they don't have natural inclinations that we have. Yeah. The Chinese and Japanese, they are a country of Xerox and carbon copies. Yeah. They take things that people create and make a cheap version of it and sell it for cheaper. Yeah, that's where all the cheap J's come from. Right. Yeah, fake, you know what I'm saying? Fake iPhones. Everything. The G's, the Jordan symbol with the ass crack. Right. You know what I'm saying? Really look at it. So, and like I said, a lot of people gonna have a lot to say about this episode, but one thing that you can't deny is that we the sauce of the earth, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everything, like the new crave in Japan right now, bro. They go through 5 hours of hair treatment so they can have an afro, so they can look like they got Nazi hair, bro. So they can look like they have hair wool, bro. That's crazy.
Man, this is a lot, dude, man. But man, I want to talk for everything. We gotta go into the next segment.
No sweat.
But yeah, we talked about a lot, man. We're gonna get into only one can choose, and you only can choose one. That's the segment. But man, I appreciate you even just shedding the light and just talking about some more stuff. And
I appreciate you having me.
Oh yeah. But we're gonna get into this next segment, but we're gonna take a quick break.
All right, that's right.
Beats and Politics. Man, we back, man. We have this episode, part of the podcast called "You Only Can Choose One," and me and Leah, we had a discussion about it, but You don't know about it, so
Okay.
this is the only, and this is like a double hitter too.
All right.
So you only can choose one.
All right.
The first one is, and don't say nothing. The first one is wings or flats. The other one is grits with sugar, grits with butter. You only can choose one. And since you the guest, I'm gonna let you go first.
Wings and flats. So basically, I choose wings and flats
Wings or flats?
or grits with butter.
No, you choose wings or flats. Which one you would choose there, and then which one you choose with grits with sugar or grits with butter.
I'm gonna go with wings, and I'm
talking about like is you choosing flats or drumsticks.
Oh shoot!
And then grits you choosing grits with sugar or grits with butter.
I'm gonna take drumsticks, and I'm gonna take grits with butter.
Ooh, boy, you my boy. Cause I was about to say something.
I hate grits with sugar, bro. I don't understand that shit, man.
All right. I already know what he don't say. So come on, man.
Hey man, I add a little butter to it. But damn it, I need sugar with it. All right, so can I get an E for effort?
This dude said.
I mean, as a chef, man, like.
Thank you.
So
hold on, let him
finish
it short.
No. But yeah, I go with butter and sugar. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm trying to throw butter on top.
No. I don't care what y'all niggas say. But yeah, butter and sugar, and with my wings, man. I believe it or not, bro, I like flats. Cause I'm a greedy nigga. You know, so when I'm hungry, people don't understand. It's a scientific method.
So you
how
like
you eat wings.
So you like to get between the bones.
That I like, and if you know how to eat the wing right, you can put the whole wing in your mouth, pull it out. But I guess that's a skill.
Pause.
Yeah. So,
hey, you a fool, dog. But yeah, so I eat my grits with butter and sugar, and I like the flats. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, grits, butter, no sugar. You might as well eat
Salt and pepper too.
You might as well eat.
You
might as
pepper
well eat cream of wheat.
Pepper and butter. Yeah.
You might as well eat cream of wheat if you're gonna eat it with sugar.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's out the question. But when I was eating chicken, because I really don't eat it now, so I just got to go with the drum, man. It's like
it's a donkey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You eat, you know what I'm saying? Like the flat, you got to pull apart. It would just, it get messy sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
True,
that's why I'm like, man, the drum was just easy. You just dip, chew, dip on the other side, chew. You good.
So like I mean like I saw like the whole like grits debate like on Facebook and stuff. Like I think it was like the end of last year or whatever.
Yeah.
So like from a culinary standpoint, for everybody, okay, grits is a savory dish.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
There are no grits. Like you go to a restaurant, you know what I'm saying, or any chef that's gonna cook grits, and it's gonna be sweet. It's not a dessert. You know what I'm saying? It's a savory dish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like when people say, well, I like, cause like I got family from Louisiana. They like putting jam and preserves in their grits.
What?
You know what I'm saying? But that's the same thing. That's the same thing as putting sugar in your grits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it's like you said,
you're not getting. Now, what if you got to the gates of heaven and God said, you know what? You can't get in because you put sugar in your grits. We supposed to, in the Bible, it says we're supposed to be the what? Say it for me, my brother.
Oh, what you mean?
We are the salt. And
it was the salt of the earth.
Not the sweet. I'm just saying.
Nah, you stupid fool.
Because the salt gives everything flavor.
Exactly.
Because even when you make desserts or whatever, like no matter if you making pastries, bread, you know what I'm saying, you put salt in it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
salt gives us that balance. Because if it's too sweet, you ain't gonna eat it.
Right. You'll actually throw up.
God is a forgiving God.
God is a forgiving God. Wow.
Oh man.
Hey, but I do love the grits with the sugar though. I mean, not the grits with the shrimp.
The shrimp.
Oh,
shrimp and grits.
Oh, the abominations.
You knew it. That was that. You said.
I don't care about you. I don't care about you, Ian.
I'm just saying. But you do know that roaches and shrimp come from the same.
Some good ass roaches.
So I'm saying you might as well just turn over a trash can, get you like some roaches, and throw them in a frying pan.
Might as well. I seen a video. Hold on.
They do the same job.
I mean, at least you can clean the boo out of them.
I seen a video. I don't know if y'all seen it. It was an alligator that was pretty much dead, and it floated and went all the way down to the bottom. They had these huge shrimp-like, look like creatures was eating the alligator.
Okay, so
it looked like a big shrimp. That's what it looked
like prawns.
Wow.
So the job of shrimp, crab, and lobster, they're the garbage men of the sea. You know what I'm saying? Like they clean the ocean floor. Like, bro, like
really
yes.
Why? Because you're gonna get you
So you know, I was a vegan for 2 years, right? You know what I'm saying? And you know, in being a vegan, like I understood like the circle of life, right? So, and it's in the Bible, like you're supposed to eat things that take nutrition from the sun. You're not supposed to eat things that get nutrition from the sun.
I see what you're saying. That does make sense though.
So, like prime example, you're supposed to eat cows because cows eat grass to get nutrition from the sun. That's why, like, the things that you're supposed to eat are vegetarians. You know what I'm saying? On the earth. Okay? So, you're supposed to eat fish with fins and scales, but they eat algae. You know what I'm saying? So, why would you eat shit that eats shit?
So you know what?
That's why. Would you eat a buzzard?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. You can't eat a buzzard.
Why would you not eat a buzzard?
Okay.
Why would you not eat a vulture?
All these
dead. Would you eat a bald eagle?
Just eating nothing but scavengers.
Right. Yeah. Right. You're eating things that eat carcasses, bro. Like, would you eat a wolf?
Okay.
Or gorilla?
Gorilla? No, you wouldn't.
And all they eat is
Well, gorillas are vegetarian.
They're vegetarian, but you wouldn't eat a mammal.
Would you eat a panda? No, because they're unlawful. So it's important for everybody to read the Leviticus chapter 11, right? Yeah. So you know it's things that you're supposed to eat that are clue-footed. They're not clue-footed. You know what I'm saying? And their paws let you know what type of animal they are and if you should eat them, if they're clean or unclean. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not supposed to eat rabbit. You know what I'm saying? You get rabies from eating rabbits. Or squirrels. Yeah, I do be seeing a lot of them country people eat. Shoot, my family, they from Louisiana, from Church Point, New Orleans. Was good too. In Alabama. I'm not gonna sit here and for the record, okay? So I wasn't born into my culture. I came into knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? But the saying is, when you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what us as a people have to do. Like, we gotta get off the slave diet, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we have to get off of Salakia, the white man's diet. You know what I'm saying? Everything that he covets as a delicacy is an abomination to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And think about it. To be in the white man's military, to get a job, you gotta be clean cut, clean shaven, right? Leviticus 19:27 says that you're not supposed to mar your beard or around the corners of your hair. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to have no edge up. You're not supposed to cut your beard. You know what I'm saying? How do you tell the difference between a boy and a man? Like, damn what you're saying, Lord. I'm gonna go ahead and get it in. I don't want no Eddie Winslow. But look what I'm saying. Like, you know, like I haven't been to the barbershop in 3 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? And my natural hairline is immaculate, bro. You know what I'm saying? You want to know why you go bald? Because you get edge ups. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to the bar, like you be getting mad, man, nah, that nigga pushed my edge up back too far, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know what? That makes sense. Cause my dad, he don't edge himself up, and he haven't since I was young and come to realization of my father. He's never edged his hair up.
Right, and one of the curses.
And he has the best hair. Like he got probably more hair than a lot of cats.
Right, and one of the curses from God are growths and blast of pus and mildew. What happened when you shave? What you get? Razor what? Razor bumps. Right. You know what I'm saying? Which is a growth and pus.
I can't tell you when the last time I used a razor though.
Right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Especially
wrong.
as a black man, like on black skin, them razors are not designed for us, bro.
Because it's not. You're not supposed to do it. It's in the
Yeah.
Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Just like how a lot of black women, they give a lot of black women hell. Like I was looking at it on the East Coast. Well, not just on the East Coast, but they'll try to suspend black girls for their hair, their natural hair. Or they say a black woman can't get a job because of her natural hair.
And since we on that subject, like to get a perm, right?
Yeah. In order to get a job, you gotta
right,
perm your hair.
Right. So we're imitating our oppressor, right? And everything about our oppressor is weak. Their skin is weak. Their hair is weak. Their eyes are weak.
And they want us to be like them.
You know what I'm saying? So why would you bleach your hair so you can have blonde hair?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why would you put perm in your hair to make your hair weak? You know what I'm saying? Like, we naturally have halos, bro. Our hair defines gravity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everything about us, it exudes strength. So why wouldn't you be who God made you to be?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Empowering our people, man.
You know
But you know what's sad about that though, Eric? I think I said this to you, but we have people like, you know, we have people just in public, you know, that will try to empower our people. You know, that'll be conscious. And what's frustrating with me, with our own people, is that we give our own the hardest times of being conscious, but these white folks will allow their people to be racist.
Right.
Ain't that crazy?
Right.
They allow their own to be racist, but we don't allow our own to be conscious.
But a lot of people are afraid to do exactly what you guys are doing right now, sitting down and having a conversation.
Yeah.
Right? So Matthew chapter 18, verse 15, right? It says, if a brother is transgressed or transpassed you, right, you're supposed to go to him and him alone. And the whole purpose is to gain a brother, to gain a sister, right? Yeah. So we're a generation of cowards, right? So we'd rather talk about a person behind their back if we felt they've done something wrong to us, instead of going to that person and be like, hey, brother, like what you did right here, bro, like that was messed up.
Yeah, like you eating sugar on your grits.
I guess I'm just gonna continue to be a messed up dude.
He said, I put sugar on my grits, I like shrimp and grits, and I like to get an edge up from time to time.
Man!
Is that so hard?
Yes!
Man, look. Okay, man. This has been, you only can choose one.
Good night, brother.
Yeah, we out, bro. Y'all got any last remarks before we close this up? Because this has been a longer episode, but it's been a good one too. So
yeah.
Well, I'm Officer Tazadak of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge in the streets. You know what I'm saying? My brother know me as Ewood Ian. You know what I'm saying? My Instagram is Keep It Deaf. You can follow me on Instagram. On all platforms, just Keep It Deaf, KEEPITDEF. It's been an honor sitting down and talking with you guys. I really enjoyed this conversation.
it's not gonna be the only time you be on
here. And us as black people, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be my closing remark. Like, you can't say you want the social paradigm to change. Like, you'll never raise above the status quo of your people, right? So with that being said, like, if you really want the best for your people, you can't be scared of your people. Like, you can't be afraid to tell, you see a young man saying, hey bro, pull your pants up. You know what I'm saying? Or you can't be afraid to correct your people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really love your people and you want us to rise and our condition to change, like, you gotta be the change that you want to see in the world. You know what I'm saying? So I know my truth, I walk my truth. You know what I'm saying? This is not a shirt that I put on and take off. You know what I'm saying? This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to always demand greatness from all the people around me. I'm going to require my brothers to be the best version of themselves. And that's what we need to do as a people. Love each other as we love ourselves.
Yeah.
You got anything else, brother?
Man, I really enjoyed this episode, man. This is definitely dialogue that a lot of us need to start having more and more. Instead of just scraping the tip of the iceberg, we need to dive in, and dissect, our problems. And for us, like religions, we need to start talking to our Muslim brothers, our Hebrew Israelite
Doing
brothers.
your research.
Just doing our research so we can all get on one accord.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's really holding us back, getting on one accord.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all, when you talk to a Muslim, when we talk to a Hebrew Israelite, we talk to a Christian, one thing we can all agree on is racism. And we can agree on white supremacy and how frustrating it is and how frustrated it has a lot of us. But when it comes to eliminating the problem, we need to get to the point where we know ourselves and strategically try to figure out how to eliminate the problem.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah. So, but Leo_Solomon on Twitter, Leo_Solomon on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, but you know, I play around.
Yeah, we But I mean, we put all the episodes and talk about it on Facebook too, because that's kind of another part of our community too. People kind of engage. We want y'all to engage on the YouTube. Also, comment, like, subscribe, share, but also comment on the Facebook too. Whenever we post them on our Facebook pages too. So we do have a Facebook page, Beats and Politics. So you can follow us there, like that page, and then also, you know, mine's is Erica Shop Music on Instagram and Twitter, and I got my Facebook, so I mean, but it's Eric Williams on Facebook. So, but yeah, but this has been the latest episode of Beats and Politics, and we're out. Peace, bro.